Hello everybody, welcome back to some, I was like really glidey there for a minute, but anyway, welcome back to some Resi 8. Picking up where we left off, we now have the 4-wing key, and we're on our way to the dollhouse. Now, there may not be, well, realistically, like any action. Also, take note of these yellow plants that we're currently walking through a huge amount of. That'll be important later. So this is actually a rather large outdoor section here that actually does have quite a few like collectible things in it. But like I said, depending on how long it takes us to get through the first half of this, we only got one. Well, whatever. Will determine basically how much action there is in this part. Like if it takes me an hour, which it realistically shouldn't, since I know how everything works. So assuming I don't like have a brain fart. Also notice all the dolls hanging in the trees. And look, there's a stroller. Or a pram, depending on where you are. Oh, so I know that I haven't been pointing out too many locations because I don't remember very many of them. But on this bridge here, or that bridge over there, or that bridge, or one of these bridges anyway, does have a go to warding on it. I want to say it's this one right here, but I'm not 100% on that. But yeah, I did say I would point them out when I remembered one, but it's not going to be very often that I remember them. Look, it's Mia.
Come with me. There's something I have to tell you.
Mia?
Oh, look, but she disappeared. But yeah, this section here you have to go through twice. Or I guess 3 times, depending on how you want to look at it, because we go through it once and then obviously we go back.
Ethan, you have to fix her.
And then once we go back, we get like, I think just one item actually, and then we come back through this area. So,
I don't want to be alone.
and it is 3 times like back to back, I guess. Or at least the 3rd time we have to make it to this point. We don't need to go any further than this. A. Benevito, 1987 to 1996. Man, I was about to put him like 100 years older. And we have this. Give up your memories, which is our family photo. Now, the boss coming up, we don't actually fight.
What's going on?
And it's this boss that I said that I need to try and get the challenge for, because it's the last boss challenge I need. I got the challenge for the 4th boss on my first playthrough, because there's very little that like your weapons and upgrades really do for that fight. They do nothing for this fight. But they don't do a huge amount for the 4th fight. And then I got the 1st and 3rd boss on my 2nd playthrough. Although it did take me 2 tries to kill Lady D there, because like I said, I didn't realize that none of the damage counted before you had her break those 2 things. And so, yeah. So I do remember another goat of warding, actually. I do remember the 2 that are here. I think you can get them both on the way there. I don't think that you have to wait till the 2nd go around, but either way, if they're not there on your first plate or on your first run through this area, they'll definitely be there on the way back. It's like right here, I think. It's just outside this fence anyway. I'm pretty sure it's on that little ledge. But yeah, that's another one that's fairly easy to miss, because there's nothing else that direction at all. And apparently that was a heavy-ass door, man. So here we are in the dollhouse, which I'm sure you can gather means that we're fighting Donna, you know, the woman with the doll. Which, to be fair, when I first watched the Achievement Hunter did streams of this game when it came out, I didn't realize that there was a woman. I just thought it was the doll. Like, watching them play it, it just looked like the doll was the boss. Like, I forgot that. Like, I didn't notice that there was a woman for the most part. Even like when Duke there does those little flashes where it's like, here's the four lords. Um, I still, even though when he said that she was the doll maker or whatever, it still didn't click with me that it's like, oh, there's a person with the doll. Anyway, so this is an interesting section that we're about to do. And the reason I say it's an interesting section is because I would classify it as not a Resident Evil section. Now, that comes purely based on me playing 4, 5, basically 4, 5, 7, and now 8. I wouldn't, because technically I did play 6, but I did Leon, the first chapter of Leon's campaign twice, because I played it once and was like, good God, that took forever. And then like I put it down for quite a while, and then I played it again with my cousin, I think. And once again, we played through the first level and then put it down because it was like, good God, that took forever. Okay, so we don't have that key. We'll save it now because I don't know how much of this will have changed. Like, I have a feeling that this entire section, difficulty means nothing.
What?
And now she's gone, the little thing is gone, and look. No guns, nothing. Open up our inventory. It's all key items, treasure, items, crafting. Look, we even have the smaller attaché case. We don't even have the bigger one. Okay, good. I couldn't remember if this thing was still there after that or not. It makes sense. But anyway, here we have Mia, or, you know, a wooden mannequin dressed to look like Mia. But yeah, this section here of the game, difficulty means nothing as far as I can tell. So now we have a blood-covered ring. We can't do anything with that as of yet. And then they also have this, which is a very weird little section that just basically is holding the left stick certain directions until Ethan finally does the thing. It's a cool section, don't get me wrong. It's just, I feel like when you're not shooting something, you're not playing Resident Evil. Like, this very much feels like a different game, this particular section. And like I said, the difficulty means nothing for it. Okay, so we got what looks like 3 closed eyes. And I also don't know how much of these, because like there's a couple of puzzles here, and I don't know how much they change. Because like that symbol in there could very well be different. Okay, so we got a silver key, which obviously goes to that door there. Got this picture here of Mia all bloody after Chris and them shot the shit out of her.
That's a kid. Can you believe it? She's so energetic. It's crazy.
And then we have a bird flying in a triangle. So we're gonna head this way. And we're going to examine this and change it to the 3 closed eyes. And then we'll change this one to the bird flying in the triangle. Make sure it's flying the right way. And then obviously we don't have the last thing. Now, last time I did this, I got through it pretty quickly. Obviously, knowing how it all works helps a lot. And then if we examine the blood-covered ring, there we go. We can get a wedding ring, which unfortunately we can't look at in that particular section. But if we look into it, see we have 052911. 052911. Which is here. Now, once again, now obviously that would be Ethan and Mia's anniversary. It was 2911, right? Yes. But once again, I don't know if that changed. Just like I don't know if either of those symbols change. I feel like they should be slightly random because I don't know. I guess should is a little bit strong of a word. I feel like they could be without any issue. Here, we'll open that up in case we need it later. But yeah, it's an interesting section. It's really well done, and it actually kind of makes me uh, hope that they take this and like make a game out of it that's like this kind of like puzzle horror instead of the Resident Evil shooty horror. Now I'll open up this one too, but I don't know. I've never needed that. A memento of my time with Ethan, but the music box no longer plays. Oh yeah, there's two doors in here. So anyway, if you remember in the first part, I did point out this music box. So we'll slap the winding key in. But as you can see, it's all scratched to shit. Go, that one fits there better. That's to go there, and then everything. You just have to line up the scratches. The ones on the left and right obviously can't move. So as long as you start at one end or the other, you should be able to do it. But there are a couple of them that are very similar to each other that I could very easily see somebody like looking at them and being like, that fits, and then, you know, it doesn't. Also, you can't trust the map on here. It's, well, I guess you can trust the map. Obviously, if it's blue, there's nothing to pick up. But it's just one of those things where it's like, and then there's another section later that's similar. It's just that there's generally multiple things to pick up in each section. So, like, your red sections, you're not going to be able to clear them. Go, we'll get the tweezers. Which will pull out this film strip. Now, now once we're done with this, we're going to talk about what's happening here a little bit more, just because it's hard to tell just how much sense it actually makes. Our happy family, Rose's best friend in the whole wide world. She really likes this fairy tale, the most important thing in the world to us. A wedding gift from Grandma, proof of Ethan's everlasting love for me. So that's obviously the order. So Rose's best friend, her favorite fairy tale, the most important thing in the world, a gift from Grandma, which is the music box, and then the symbol of their love, which is obviously their wedding bands. Then we get this little home movie. About going down a well. And then as you can see, there is nothing to pick up in this room. But once we go in here, see, there's some scissors. Which is actually very important for when we talk about what's going on here after. So anyway, we've got the scissors. We got a phone. Does anything happen when you pick it up? No, nothing. I don't know if that's just like a callback to 7 or what, because like that's like the only. Really?
Please, Ethan, listen to me. I didn't want to keep it from you.
Mia?
I didn't want to lose you again. I didn't want to destroy this family.
Mia, what are you talking about?
I love you both so much. I had to. I had to do it.
Okay. So that's mysterious. Yeah, we can't go through that door yet. But this here is the door that we couldn't get through before, and we've now created a loop. And look, there goes Mia. And of course, we can't get the door open until after she leaves, but whatever. Oh, and I think one of the arms fell down. But now that we have scissors, we can cut this part off. And get the brass medallion. Which is obviously. Sure. Okay. Now, if any of you are like aware of what happens in this section, but haven't like seen it yourself, you may be wondering, why am I just running around like this? That can't be safe, right? It's fine. Trust me, it's perfectly safe. Alright, so down the well we go. If you remember it from the little video there that we watched, we got some more. Oh, we actually have another Mia doll in here. We got the breaker box key. Oh no, what was that? Oh no, there's a baby crying. And our little thingamabobber, the cradle, right, is knocked over. Oh no. Anyway, so now we have the breaker box key. And actually, come to think of it, as you can see, the light's red there. And I think if we go over here, this door is locked again. Yes. And if you look, there's blood on the floor. And don't worry, if you don't know what's going on right now, don't worry, you'll get a better look at that thing in the future. Anyway, we're gonna go through here, pop through here. Oop. And go through there because I know that it can't follow us through there. Which brings us to this room. Which is obviously right here. Oh. Controller vibrate a little bit here. There it is. So now, because we went the long way around, it's over here. Now, what you can do is those cupboards that you saw me opening. If you go into them, you can close them and stand inside them, similar to Outlast, except that it's not one button press to like get inside of it. You have to physically walk your character inside, turn them around, and close the door. Now, I don't know exactly how this thing works. Oh, look, there's a... What's a doll's name? It's Madalina, I think. Or is No, Madalina... No, Madalina's the doll that comes in 2 pieces. Oh, what the hell is that one's name? Anyway, as you can see, this is blocked off, so we have to go through this way. And don't worry, once again, you're safe. When you get the breaker box key, that's when it first shows up. Once you make it down here, you're safe momentarily. Either way, we got a fuse there. And then look, the lights went out again. And then as you can see, there is a cabinet here to hide in. But I'm going to show you the way I've been doing it. And assuming... Now, the way I've been doing it really requires this thing to not have been sped up. Because, like, that's the only thing that the difficulty could change in this section. There it is. Is it speed... Like, if they sped it up, then I could see myself being screwed here because of the way I do this. But anyway, I run around the bed and crawl under it. Now, I think that as long as your light is off, you're considered hidden. So, like, I don't know, like, because you can't turn around to see your feet to see if they're sticking out. But at the same time, when you first crawl under the bed, you're, like, barely under it. And your flashlight's still on. And once you crawl in far enough, then your light shuts off. And I have to assume that your light shutting off is the indication that you're now hidden. But yeah, I always... And as you see, you can't turn around, which is why I ran all the way around the bed to hide. Because then, once that thing gets to the other side of the bed, because obviously they do kind of expect you to hide in that locker. Because, like, obviously you could hide in that locker and wait it out, because it will eventually fuck off. But I prefer to do it that way. I run around to the other side of the bed so that I can crawl underneath it and face the door. And then once that thing gets behind the bed, then I just immediately book it. Now then, once you get here, you get the fuse. And you can hear it coming up behind you. But don't panic. Once again, I'm assuming that it's not sped up. But yeah, just get in it and immediately hit the button. Because I don't know how close it gets to you, but it will immediately be that close. Like, you can't do it much faster than I just did. If at all. And I mean, like, the getting in the elevator part. Like, get the fuse in, get the elevator. Because as soon as you put the fuse in, it will spawn in that hallway and start coming towards you. And then, obviously, you just gotta wait. So... now is the point we're about to activate the second boss. Once it's activated, we have... hang on. Entrapment, Executioner, Mind Your Step. There he is. We have 1 minute and 40 seconds. Now, the problem with this challenge is, like I said, none of your weapons or upgrades matter, obviously. Although I guess you do get a movement speed upgrade, which I guess could matter. But I did have that in the second one. I still only managed. But the thing that matters most is RNG.
Don't leave. I can't let you.
You're still alive, huh? You better find me quick before my friends murder you. Tick-tock. Your life's on the line.
Okay. So now this boss is active, and we have 1 minute and 40 seconds to complete the challenge. So now she's hiding, and you have to find her 3 times. Now, the first time that she's hiding, she's always up here. I've never had her not spawn up here. There's a door here, and she's over here in this corner. That's always her first spawn. But her second and third spawn is random, and depending on where she spawns, based on what I've read online, more or less determines. Also, take note of the pose that she takes there, that little, like, sitting down in the air before she fucks off. That'll also be important later. But yeah, her second and third spawn are slightly random. And depending on where she spawns, you can't do this challenge. So like, see the fact that like that took me too long right there. Guaranteed, that took me too long. Now I think she always spawns in that room second. I'm somewhat sure of that. But where she spawns will determine it. So we can skip this immediately. Because I know of 3 spawns that she has in that room that she can be. And then the third spawn is the one that really screws me over. Because, like, get in here, do this one. And unfortunately, throughout all this, like, none of this, even though it's like a little cutscene, you can't skip it. And it all counts towards your time.
Everything would be better if Rose wasn't born.
Fucking monster.
Okay, so that's one. Turn around, immediately sprint. And as far as I know, there's not really any way to tell. Like, because you can't, like, you do have a lot of access to the house right now. Oh. Yes, that's a good spawn right there. It's number 2. When I walked in the room, I did actually hear her make a noise in my left ear. Now, hopefully the third one... Come on. Damn it, it's not there. Yeah, see, and now I've lost it, guaranteed. So I'm at a minute 15 right now. And she's right there. Minute 19.
You're never going to get out of here. Stupid idiot! What are you doing to my cute friends?
And look, it wasn't actually the doll we were stabbing. Angie, that's the name of the doll.
Mia, we'll make things right.
Now, here's the thing. I don't know at what point
What?
it considers the... also, look, we're no longer in the
I
room
need
that
to
we
get
were
out of this
just in.
place.
Come on, there it is. Now we have the 4-winged unborn key.
So that's who was behind all this?
And now we also have Angie. Okay. C-143, because that fucking cutscene takes way too long. Like, that last cutscene takes so fucking long. Now, I'm going to hit restart here, but I don't think that I can redo it. Yeah, I didn't think so. So I'll have to try again. Now, granted, if I had rushed into that room, I still may have done it. I probably did waste at least 3 seconds. So, now. This door is locked. I just wanted to check this, because I don't know how much of the house... Oh, yeah, I got to pick Angie again. We'll get the legs. And I don't think we can go through this door either. Oh, look at that, we can. But as you can see, there's still a bunch of dolls, including ones that all look like that Medallion doll that we're creating. And then that one's locked, yeah. So you can come into these sections of the house. As you can see, though, it doesn't matter. There's no items here. Which is fine, but once again, it brings up the question, why can't you go back into the castle? Oh yeah, and also now we have our guns. So, now, like I said, we're going to talk about this. We're going to find a document in a little bit that will explain a little more, and then there's another document that we'll find near the end of the game that'll explain it even more. But anyway, those flowers that we went through at the beginning, those yellow ones I told you to watch out for, they have some kind of pollen, and anybody... I don't remember if it's called pollen or not, but we're going to go with pollen because they're flowers. And anybody who breathes it in Donna there is then in your mind and can make you hallucinate and see things and see whatever you want, right? So now, nothing that happened after we crossed those flowers was real. Obviously, the illusions of Mia carrying Rose, none of those were real. Now, the issues that I have with that is it's hard to tell how much is real because clearly we killed Donna with the scissors, and even if you, but from what, but like once it cuts away, I don't know if it's just I don't personally see them or they're just not there, but I don't see the scissors after you kill her. Which you would think, well, that's fine. You know, maybe you didn't have the scissors. It's like, okay, what did I stab her with then? Like, there's no way that he was hitting her hard enough to bash her head in. Also, you may be wondering then, well, then how was she in your mind? And you could see Angie floating around in the beginning when you met the Four Lords. That's because that's a separate thing. That's a different ability of hers, and she can actually do that with Angie. That one I don't think we'll learn about until much later. But that is a separate thing. She actually can control the dolls. Um, like she does. Uh, but yeah, like the thing is like the scissors should have been real, but like how much of what happened was real? I don't know. And now we get a new enemy type. We're actually gonna head in here for. And I think they have to come. Oh, hello. So now these are basically the same things that we fought in Castle. I don't know that they're any different. I think they might have a little bit more health. Maybe because they got a little bit more blood in them. I don't know. But yeah, I think they have a little bit more health. But other than that, they're exactly the same. They do swarm you a bit more. There does tend to be more of them. Like when one spawns, there does tend to be a lot more like just around, like in that particular section. Uh, and you might think, oh, but I mean the other one swarmed. Yeah, but it's a different swarm. It's a playing like I don't know how different it looks watching it, but playing it there is definitely a difference. Like these guys definitely do swarm more than the whatever the fuck they're called in the castle. They do have different names and everything. And like I said, I'm pretty sure these things have more health because I vaguely remember them taking more headshots, but they also like to do this. For if you're not paying attention, you can walk into them as they pop up out of the ground. But yeah, that's why I said that depends on how fast I make it through the first bit or during the first thing. Because yeah, they're all of these. Now here's the other thing, right? Why weren't any of these enemies here? I mean, like, yes, we weren't seeing them because she could make us not see them, but and then there's the head for Madalena. But I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean that they would have just ignored us, right? But then again, if she can control anything that breathes that in, maybe they weren't. Maybe she can control them as well. I don't know. So this is a photo of a strange bird. I'm not going to pick it up because it's just going to stick in my inventory. But it's just, well, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care. Oh, yeah, I guess I could have just let you look at it there. Key items, family, where is it? Photo of a strange bird. There you go. It's just the blue bird in the village. It's the one that when you shoot it, it drops the juicy game. And you do get a photo for each of the rare animals. There is 3 photos for the 3 animals. Some explosive rounds. We should have the other. God, the second time I played this game, I forgot to pick up this ball. Now this one, I don't really understand. Because like I don't know if it's just me, but like I see the things like bouncing, like the fences moving up and down in that to be like, it's like, oh, that's the challenge because it can run off. It doesn't. It's a very, I say as it almost runs off. It is probably like the easiest of the challenges. Once you know the first one, like the castle, it's very easy because like at the very end of it, there are some holes you can drop down that will. Oh yeah, there's Luthier's key. But yeah, there are some holes that you can drop down that'll reset it on you. But for the most part, it like once you understand how to get it past the holes and into the one you need it to get into, it's fine. But like that one there, even on your first try, it'll probably only take you one attempt because it is that easy. And then the third one I don't remember being too hard either. The fourth one on my first playthrough, super easy. First try, I was wondering why it was the fourth one with it being that easy. Ethan making that noise. Second try though, could not fucking do it. It took forever. But anyway, heading back to the village already because we do have an item that we need to pick up there, and then we'll be coming back. Now, as you're going back through this section, if you keep your eyes on the trees, you can actually spot these guys and shoot them out of the trees. And obviously, if it's your first playthrough, it's just basically one free instance of damage. But got a large crystal there. Another guy on the ground there. And if you go over here, there should be... I remember seeing a lot more of these fuckers in the trees. Oh, oops. I think I'm on top of one. Huh. There's one. But yeah, the ones that, like these guys here, they're fairly easy because even if you don't have infinite ammo, they still come out of the ground or drop out of the sky just like that. So even like base weapons and that, you can get quite a few shots because like unless you shoot them and they die, they don't speed up. Like it when like they won't like jump out of the ground, they won't fall out the tree and immediately jump up. Also, I think that's all the items that are here. There's the one on the tombstone, and then there's the 3 bird cages. And I think that's all there is there. Yeah, and then that's all the enemies. And then we're back out into the village. Now, obviously, with this key, we can go that way because that's the door that we have unlocked. We'll throw this flask in here. And as you can see, Duke is playing with one of the little dolls. But we're going to ignore him for now. And head back into the village. And then over here, in this graveyard, have that guy and this guy. Now this guy is important because he came out of here, and in here is this broken slab that has the start of the word Claudia. All it's missing is an A. And the reason that's important is because if you need to pick it up now, because this gate is open, but once you finish the 3rd boss, this gate is then locked again. And you cannot get that, which locks you out of a treasure. But since we've now got Luthier's key, We can go this way. We can now go to Luthier's house and pick it up. Now, I don't actually remember how many. Just when you're running back through the village at any point in time, just keep your eyes peeled for guys staying on rooftops and that, because like I'm not 100% sure how they respawn. As you can see, I'm kind of just running through, but I mean, if it's your first playthrough, you should probably be a little bit more careful, because obviously you won't have like infinite ammo or anything. There's nothing. I do believe that there's something in this house hidden that usually. Oh, you know what? I think I just remembered what it is. It's one. There it is. Boop. Go. That. Get some chem fluid. Get a note here that says, I'll never forget her 5th birthday. So if we go over here, happy birthday, 27/9/17. Right. 27, 9, 17. I don't know what those noises were outside, but not worried about it. So we get a steel, I don't know, some word looks German, which clears the house. Now, actually, come to think of it, I think we actually did miss a file, but don't worry, we got to go back there anyway, so I'll show you where it was. I don't know, I keep hearing stuff that sounds like it might be an enemy, but then no enemies show up. Okay, so we got that, so we can go and do, yeah. Oh. I also got to say, like, this shortcut here, I really wish that in my first 2 playthroughs, I would have ever remembered that it was there. Because I can tell you right now, I never did. Hey, Duke. How's it going? Still playing with your dolly, I see. Okay. I'll walk slower. I don't think that anything back here respawns. Right? Yeah, I don't think so. Nope. So Potter's Field remains clear. At least if you do it now. I don't know. Like, there, after you've moved on to the 3rd area, there's really. Also, I keep saying like 3rd area and that, but like, obviously, I'm not counting like the village and like the Ethan's house and that. But like, once you moved on to the 3rd area, there's really no reason to come back here unless you miss something. But yeah, I forgot this file. There should be. Ah, here it is. November 10th. Mistress Donna is now Mother Miranda's adopted daughter. In all my years, I've never been this overjoyed. Ever since childhood, she has always feared others due to the scar across her face. After her parents' death, she locked herself away and would only talk to Angie, the doll her father made her. I am forever thankful to Mother Miranda's infinite compassion. 27th of November. Mistress Donna seems happy. It might be my imagination, but I feel like her doll Angie is even more lively than before. She came to me in the garden today and used Angie to talk with me. We had a mighty fine conversation. Something about receiving a gift of power from Mother. November 29th. Mistress Donna gave me yellow flowers and told me to plant them in the garden. Planting them in front of Miss Claudia's grave, I don't know if it was the scent of the flowers, but I felt lightheaded. Then, like a dream, I saw my departed wife. I mentioned this to Donna, and she seemed thrilled by it. She told me to go to the house tomorrow and see her. She said I could see my family once more. I'm not sure what she meant by that, but she's so kind. So yeah, presumably the enemies that we're fighting now are people who were like I don't know, is it still brainwashed? I don't know. Also, goat. So just like the pig, the goat can fight back. Unlike the pig though, the goat can fuck you up. It absolutely can fuck you up. And now it's mini boss time. Now, because we have that piece of the grave, once we go here, this guy will show up. And once again, this guy will be significantly harder, obviously, if it's your first playthrough. He takes a lot of damage, like a fuck ton of damage. And now you might think, because he's a huge guy, and we saw that that picture of like the weird thing in the guy's back, it might be him. It's not. Don't worry about it. So the way you fight that guy on your first playthrough, if you so choose, is just basically you just keep running around, stopping, shooting, run, stop, shoot, run, stop, shoot, and that's it. He can like come at you, he'll like raise the axe and just like walk quickly after you, or he can actually do a jump right across this area. But as long as you stay moving and only take a couple shots at a time, he's not that bad. So here we go. Now we have Berengario's Chalice. And that's the treasure from there. And now we have cleared the second section. Remember, it took 3 parts to get through Castle Dimitrescu. Just took 1 to get through this whole section. And that's why I say that I feel like the parts are misordered. Because it's probably only going to take 1 part to get through the next section as well. And then it'll probably take 2 or 3 parts. Yeah, I could see it taking 3 parts. To get through the 4th section. Like, I feel like either the 3rd section or this section should have been first. All honesty, I think this section should have been before the castle. Because, like, obviously less combat involved. You could get, like, a little booster to your money right off the bat by getting Angie, the treasure from them. Or from there, and since you don't use any bullets or anything, like I said, the enemies there, they're not that much harder, if at all, to the ones in the castle. So it'd be very, like, whatever differences they do have in their health and damage, they could have just flip flopped those. And then you at least would have had a shorter section, a longer section, a shorter section, a longer section, instead of a longer section, 2 short sections. God, that's hard to say. And then another long one. I just feel like it's paced weirdly with how intricate and that the castle is compared to like that little area. Like, yes, they did have that little puzzle thing, and in the 3rd area there is like a little puzzle thing, but I mean, it's just not all that difficult. Sorry, I'm just thinking, it doesn't matter. I was just trying to think of where the 2 pieces for that necklace that we got is, but I mean, one of them is through there, but we can't get it until after we actually beat the 3rd boss. Oh, fuck, and I can never fucking remember where that other piece is. I pick it up every time. Like, it's not the piece that I ever like am missing. Like, I do always find that piece first. So
familiar to you?
okay. So yeah, we'll just do a little bit of cleanup. I'm gonna do something a little different here. I'm gonna sell this stuff.
Your coin.
Nothing for that. Miss Madalena.
Now this is something to splurge on.
Okay. Onyx skull, the steel, whatever. Because I just want to see.
Do you know its worth?
I just wanted to see what he says for it. Oh, and then I guess it's just random whether or not he decides to say something. Because last time I sold him Angie, he had something to say about it. So that's interesting. And then I guess if you sell him a bunch of stuff at once, he'll just say something, I guess, about the whichever one you whatever's like the most, I don't know,
I've gotten some new
highest
stock.
value one that you sold him. All right, rate of fire done.
These
Reload
hands are
speed
more dexterous than
twice.
one might think.
Only one more upgrade, and then the stake will be done, and I could get infinite ammo for it. And I probably will. I'll get infinite ammo for it, and then I'll switch out my magnums. Even though the Wolfsbane one looks better, it only does 2,900, whereas this one does 4,500. This one's rate of fire, or you can fire one bullet every 0.8 seconds. This one takes a full second. This one takes 2 seconds to reload. This one takes 1.9. Now, to be fair, I don't know that 1.9 or that 0.8 means seconds, but I'm just going to assume it does. But I mean, like, obviously, rate of fire and reload speed between the two is negligible. Like, I imagine the next upgrade for this takes it to 1.7. But the fact that this has 28, 36 shots in it, I mean, if you've went through 36 shots of this and you need that 0.3 seconds extra reload speed, something is wrong. All right.
Thank
But
you
yeah,
for your
that'll be it
patronage.
for this part then. Next part, we'll head through this door and we'll take on some more enemies. Now, here's the thing, right? The third area, or what I consider the third area, will only probably take one part to get through, but it may very well take the whole part. It is still technically a longer area than Angie's, and the thing is with one of the items that we get there, there's a lot of extra stuff to do after the third part. Now, actually, come to think of it, I want to check something here real quick before we actually leave. I don't think that this is a thing yet. I think we have to wait until after we do the next boss, but in fact, I'm positive. I'm going to check anyway, but I don't think I've ever been over here after the second boss, so I just kind of want to see if there's anything. Yeah, doesn't look like there's anything over here. Because there is another mini boss that spawns over here, but it's after the third boss. And obviously the gargoyle things spawn after the first one. Um, and then, there's the werewolf guys before you go to the first one. All right. So yeah, that'll be it for this part. Just going to go and save at the Duke here. And yeah, that'll be it for this part. Thanks everybody for watching. And I will see you on, this should be Wednesday's video, so I will see you on Friday for more.